Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Raleigh Board of Selectmen meeting for March the 11th, 2013. We have been in recess since 6:54, so we're reconvening into open session. First on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Stu, will you lead us?
Certainly.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Stu.
My pleasure.
I remind everybody that this meeting is being audio taped and videotaped. First on the agenda, have a moment of silence for Scott Levitt, our highway surveyor who passed away last week. We will certainly miss Scott. We will not see his like again. That's the best way of putting it. Scott's dedication to the town is when I told somebody a few weeks ago about Scott's illness. Her first reaction was, "He helped me." And that's what Scott Levitt, that's what it really came down to, those words, "He helped me." He was always there for each one of us and for every member of this town. He helped all of us. We will surely miss Scott Levitt.
We certainly will. He certainly did.
Yep.
Oh, good dedicated guy and on the job every day.
Sure was.
Took care of business.
Stu, you had something you would like to say?
I'd like to say that I am not running for re-election to the Board of Selectmen. I took out my papers, but I've changed my mind. I'm not turning them in. I'm running for the Water Board.
Well, Stu, thank you for your service on the Board of Selectmen. We're not going to throw you out of here yet, so
Thank
you're
you.
going to stay.
Same.
Gentlemen, for putting up with me.
Same here,
You gotta
so.
stick around for another month and a half, Stu.
Yeah, I've enjoyed serving with you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, next is going to be Chairman's comments, and I have a lengthy letter. Wednesday, March 6th, 2013, the Water Board meeting was appalling. First, the current chairman called for a motion to reorganize. Where was this on the posted meeting agenda? A copy of the posted meeting agenda is attached here. There is nothing. The notice states the following. Discuss general business. Next bullet, FY14 2014 budget and proposed revenue rate. Next bullet, adjourn. Again, where does the meeting notice say reorganization of the board? Normally, elected town boards and committees reorganize at its first meeting after the annual town election. Why is the water board reorganizing now? Why is the Chairman Martin calling for a reorganization of the board? Attorney General's Open Meeting Law Guide states on page 6 the following. What information must a meeting notices contain? Meeting notices must be posted in a legible, easily understandable format, contain the date, time, and place of the meeting, and list the topics that, as of the time the notice is filed, the chair reasonably anticipates will be discussed at the meeting. The list of topics must be sufficiently specific to reasonably inform the public of the issues to be discussed at the meeting. While not required under the open meeting law, public bodies are encouraged to make a revised list of topics to be discussed available to the public in advance of the meeting if the body intends to discuss the topics that come up after the posting but before the meeting convenes. During the March 6, 2013 Water Board meeting, Mr. Martin was trying to force the chairmanship on Commissioner Tim Toomey. This appeared to be a planned action by Mr. Martin. This was not on the posted meeting notice. The people in the town deserve transparency. Commissioner Toomey deserves to be treated with respect from fellow board member. During the meeting, Commissioner Toomey has come forward and fully cooperated with the Board of Selectmen on the investigation of questionable expenditures related to the second floor building within the garage and purchase of 3 gates that were laid out on embankment for at least 6 months because they could not be installed. The water department spent at least $40,000 of the ratepayers' money for garage offices, 1 on the first floor, 1 on the second floor, kitchen, lounge, bathroom, and shower. The ratepayers in this town deserve transparency. In their government, Mr. Martin is now abrogating his position as chairman in the middle of a budget season. Why? Is it because we, the Board of Selectmen, will continue to press for answers as to how the board could ignore the town's procurement policy and pay for construction expenses that exceed the town meeting's approval out of their operating budget? This expense budget was increased from $366,000 to $455,000, and the reasons we were told that it needed to be increased was for anticipated vehicle fuel costs and anticipated electric rate increases. Nowhere in the budget spreadsheet did it list the construction work and the expenses for gates, garage offices, kitchen, lounge, and bathroom. I promise to the townspeople that I will be diligent in reviewing the water budget. I will only recommend a budget to the town meeting in which I know where every single penny of the water users' money is going. I encourage all townspeople to watch this meeting. One more important note about this meeting is the comments that Commissioner Martin made about the town's accounting and treasurer collectors departments. To watch this meeting, go to www.townofrowley.net. Click on RCM icon on the upper right section of the page. Click on the schedule tab on the top of the page, and then click Water Commissioners Meeting recorded March 6th, 2013. At 1 hour 17 minutes and 13 seconds, Mr. Martin makes the following statement during the discussion on the indirect cost that the Water Department Enterprise Fund reimburses to the town's general fund. Quote, "We're paying a town department to do a town job. We pay the treasurer and the accountant. We pay them for the jobs that they're already getting paid for." End of quote. As the chairman of the Board of Selectmen, I publicly renounce Mr. Martin for making this statement. He is implying that the town accountant and the treasurer collector receive additional payment for their work and services they provide to the water department. I am appalled by Mr. Martin's statement and will publicly respond with the truth. The Enterprise Fund is obligated to reimburse the general fund for expenses and services it received from the general fund. The indirect costs cover administrative services such as processing bills, payable and payroll warrants, employee benefits, and annual audit. The Enterprise Fund reimburses the general fund for $3,090 for the accounting department and $6,458 for the treasurer collectors department each year. This reimbursement comes out of approximately to 4% of both the accounting and treasurer's departments. The reimbursement is deposited into the general fund. Neither the town accountant nor the town treasurer collector nor anyone working in either department receives any additional payment for the work done for the water department. Moreover, we do not seek additional reimbursements for their town departments. The town accountant has spent many hours assisting the water department over the past several months. Does Mr. Martin really want to know about the number of hours of assistance that the employees in the town hall and annex provide to the water department? These are all employees of the town of Raleigh, and all employees work cooperatively with each other to provide the best services possible for the people in our town. The people of this town need to hear the truth. Perhaps Mr. Martin should read the town's indirect cost allocation policy, which governs the reimbursement of the water department enterprise fund to the general fund. Now I shall read the memo from Treasurer Collector Karen Summit. To the Raleigh Board of Selectmen from Karen H. Summit. Date March 11, 2013. Reference Water Board meeting March 6, 2013. During the Water Board meeting of March 6, 2013, there was an incorrect reference made to indirect costs being charged to the Water Department that were already being paid for by the town. Since the Water Department in the enterprise fund of the town of Raleigh uses the Treasurer Collector's Office for services is not able to provide for itself, the Water Department pays a proportion of the cost of the Treasurer Collector's Office expenses, not an additional payment to the Treasurer's Office. The allocation for FY13 2013 of $6,048 includes the following services provided by the Treasurer Collector's Office. Bullet 1. The process by payroll for the Water Department and manage employees' deductions such as insurance, 457 deductions, flexible spending accounts, credit union deductions, etc. Bullet 2. The balance and reconcile the Water Department's bank accounts, five in total, on a monthly basis, making sure that receipts collected and vendor payments made reconcile to the bank statements in town accountants' records. Bullet 3. The Water Department debt on the warrant. Pay the Water Department's debt and report Water Department debt to the state via the statement of indebtedness. Bullet 4. We follow up the state revolving fund on vouchers submitted for the water treatment plant and ensure that funds and transfer to the vendor accounts so payment for the water department expenses can be released. This often does not coincide with the time of transfers for the town's vendor payments. Bullet 6. We handle the borrowing and debt process for the water department. We work with the investment advisor First Southwest to establish the most advantageous terms borrowing with the bond counsel on the legal issues of borrowing in the state revolving fund, MWPAT. The Treasurer's Office has worked with SRF on obtaining interim financing for the water treatment plant, the permanent borrowing schedule by the SRF, and worked with the Water Department on repayment schedules, cost of borrowing, and time of borrowing, etc. Again, gentlemen, you can see that I have the notice here of the FY a meeting, the posted meeting. As you can see, there's nothing other than what was I said, correct? Okay. I'm sorry to take up so much time tonight, and I cut into the citizens' query. Any query from anyone in the audience tonight? Okay, there's no query. Okay, so we had citizens' query from 7:05 to 7:15. So citizen query is now closed. Okay. Okay, moving on. losing my voice. Okay, general business. Letter from Chelsea Green Space and Recreation Committee. Letter from Chelsea Green Space and Recreation Committee. Debbie has received the attached letter. Chairman Snow will read it into the record. There is a discussion from the board on this. Okay. Chelsea Green Space and Recreation Committee. Dear Ms. Egan, we are writing to alert you of the proposal put forth by Global Companies LLC to transport large volumes of ethanol through the communities of Massachusetts, including your city and town, to the company's facilities in Revere. We would like to request your action and support to stop this potentially life-threatening plan. The proposal, Global Oil, which has a facility in Revere, Massachusetts, proposes to bring freight trains carrying ethanol to its facility along the Chelsea River. The ethanol is a volatile, flammable, colorless liquid which burns at extremely high temperatures. A 2011 study commissioned by the State Department of Environmental Protection found ethanol is now the largest volume of hazardous material being transported by rail. Alcohol-resistant foam is necessary to extinguish ethanol fires along with specially trained firefighters. Global is proposing to bring 60 to 120 cars. Each car holds 30,000 gallons of ethanol into its facility 2 to 3 times per week, every week, all year long. This could result in 561.6 million gallons of ethanol traveling on freight trains each year. The trains would travel on commuter rail lines, primarily the Fitchburg line, the Lowell line, the Haverhill line, but a short segment of the Newburyport line would be utilized each time the train backs into the Global facility in Revere. In the event of an accident at the facility, the train service to the towns serviced by Newburyport Rockport line would be disrupted. What is happening presently? We have successfully achieved getting the state legislature to require the public safety study be conducted by the State Department of Transportation on the safety of ethanol transport through the communities of Cambridge, Boston, Everett, Chelsea, and Revere. While the legislature did not implicitly request that every town, city and town in the Massachusetts be included in the impact study, it is also did not say the study should only focus on the above-named cities. However, the DOT is focusing this study on these communities in Somerville. We believe that you should have the opportunity to have your community weigh in with your concerns in how these trains can negatively impact your city and town. Any discussion from the board?
Mr. Chairman, I think we should ask our fire chief, who is also the emergency management director, to look into this and maybe check with some of his other emergency management directors who have this traveling through their towns and report back to us his findings and his recommendations.
I think that's wise, Mr. Murray.
And I would like to make that as a form of a motion.
I'll second that.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any other comments from the board?
I think we definitely need the information from the fire chief, especially as the emergency management coordinator.
Mm-hmm. I think it's wise. Okay. Anything else from the board? Okay. Moving on to general business number 2. Troop 15, Triton Raleigh Yankee Clipper Council. Dear friends in scouting, Boy Scout Troop 15 of Raleigh, Massachusetts is proud to announce that Matthew Thomas Faulkner has achieved the rank of Eagle Scout as of January 17, 2013. I understand that you have responded in the past with such achievements through some form of recognition. Any communications from you would be presented at the Eagle Scout, the Eagle Award ceremony. I would appreciate any action on your part showing support for this young man, George Pensenka, Scoutmaster, 1 Easy Street, Raleigh, Massachusetts. Well, I gotta wait for the board. Have a motion from the board?
I believe, Mr. Chairman, that we generally send a citation
Yes.
endorsed by the chairman and the board members. I would suggest that we do that for this fellow who's
Do we
made
need a motion for that?
this achievement.
Have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I think it's outstanding that we've had so many Eagle Scouts from the Raleigh troop come to us for recognition. It's a wonderful achievement.
George, if you're sitting home watching this tonight, thank you so much for what you do with those, bringing all those Eagle Scouts forward. That's a great thing. Yeah, we love doing this. And have the young man come in and have some pictures taken and have the community
Recognize his
recognize him and meet him.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay, general business number 3, letter from planning board vice chairman Clifford Pierce. Debbie is working on news release that will go to the daily news, Boston Globe North Weekly section in the town common, alerting the townspeople not only of the vacancies on the planning board, but also of the zoning board of appeals and the fence viewer position. In total, we have the following vacancies: planning board, full member, a voter can be appointed until the next election. Planning board associate member, zoning board of appeals, we have 3 associate seats, and we also have the fence viewer. Again, let me read the letter. This is from Cliff Pierce. Dear Chairman Snow, it is with a sense of urgency that the planning board requests assistance and/or advice from the Board of Selectmen in regards to filling a vacant position that now exists on the board. As you are aware, the board has been conducting business for over a year with only 4 members. Fortunately, all 4 members were able to attend every meeting last year involving recently approved Raleigh Country Club project, a project which requires a supermajority vote of 4 members of the planning board. However, the planning board is now contending with a board that has been effectively reduced to only 3 members. 3 members are necessary for all votes required a simple majority. At the February 27th planning board meeting, the board was unable to approve minor modifications to approve site plan review project on 120 Newburyport Turnpike, a vote that only requires a simple majority. This vote by the board is necessary so that the applicant is able to finalize the project with the board so that they may be open for business. More importantly, most of the commercial developments we review in certain types of residential developments require a supermajority vote, 4 members. This essentially means until the new member is appointed or elected, the planning board will be unable to approve any significant new commercial developments in town or smart growth residential projects. I am sure we can all agree that this is it's not a good situation for the town. Any assistance or advice you could provide on this matter would be appreciated. Sincerely, Vice Chairman Clifford Pierce. I'd just like to, and I've said this before to everybody out there, if you want to get involved in town government, the planning board is a great place to sit. The planning board really, it's not going to be the Board of Selectmen that's going to shape the town. It is going to be the planning board. What the town looks like 100 years from now, they'll forget about who we ever existed. But one thing they will look at, who sat on the planning board, 100 years ago. Who was the one that shaped the town, that moved it in the direction? The reason that the town looks the way it does is because of the planning board. So again, if you want to get involved in the town, this is a great board to sit on. So I urge you, anybody who wants to, and I remember when I first got appointed to the planning board, I first met Cliff Pierce. Cliff said, "You're going to meet a lot of people in town. And he was sure right about that, and he said, a lot of things will change from that, and, well, here I am. Anyways, it is I can't emphasize enough about sitting on, especially sitting on the planning board, and what it does for the community. So, and you get to see everything in town. You get to know your whole town personally and up front. So, anybody on the board have anything to add?
Oh, this is a time to, anyone interested, I think it's a time to get the papers out for one of these positions. It's an open seat, as far as I see here, for
Yeah.
a member to take out papers for the planning board.
And then also, you know, there's the associate member of the planning board.
Right.
Okay, also the zoning board of appeals. There's 3 associate seats that are there. So those are appointed seats. It's a great way to really to sit and do what turns out to be not a small job, a big job in town, and you get to shape the town, to help with other people. So. All right, moving on. Moving on to general business
She's
number
open right now.
4.
Papers out, planning board. There's a gentleman coming.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
general business number 4, request from the Raleigh Chamber of Commerce and Raleigh Historical Society to use the town hall auditorium for a Jeopardy game. The Raleigh Chamber of Commerce and the Raleigh Historical Society would like to hold another community Jeopardy game. This is, I'm starting to get swallowed tight here, because if you can remember what happened to me last year at the Jeopardy game. Okay, this was a successful event last year. Well, if it was a successful event for everybody, except for me. The Board of Selectmen needs to vote on this.
Mr.
Okay,
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the Raleigh Chamber of Commerce and the Raleigh Historical Society, we grant them permission to use the town hall auditorium for a Jeopardy game.
okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recuse myself, as I am a member of the Historical Society Board of Directors.
Are you the one to come up with those questions?
No comment, sir.
I think the chairman should represent the Board of Selectmen at the
We take a
game again.
5-minute recess. Okay. Nate, can we take a 5-minute recess? Well, we're back from recess. We continue on. We'll start with minutes. Has everybody read the minutes for January 28th, 2013?
Yep,
Executive session. Everyone read them?
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of the Board of Selectmen executive session, January 28th.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Good. Okay. Okay, moving on to new business. Open the special town meeting warrant. Board of Selectmen needs to vote to open the special town meeting warrant effective now and to close it on Monday, April 1st, 2013 at 4 p.m. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Old Town business. Okay. Town administrator update and exciting. We are waiting for a cost estimate. Oh, I'm sorry. Turn it over to.
We are waiting for a cost estimate for the cedarwood siding that is not finger jointed. And unfortunately, I don't have that cost for the next meeting. We're working on it. I should have that by next week. We'll get the application filed with the CPA once I get that number. Hopefully I'll have it.
Deb, I got to bring it with me tonight, but I looked through the weekend, I looked up some siding on the internet, and I came across what they call a Cape Cod siding, and it's beveled siding, which is basically clapboard,
Yep.
and it comes painted on both sides, primed and painted on both sides, and it's supposedly guaranteed for 20 years if it's brought up right, which means you have to paint the joints where you cut, and if you do that, it's supposed to last 20 years. I'll bring that paperwork in for you tomorrow morning.
Okay,
And there is a phone number there that you can call and get prices.
okay. All right, we did ask a contractor to give
Right.
us a quote that would include insulation and everything,
Yeah,
so,
we could just find out
yeah.
what it is, a square foot or whatever, and maybe use that as kind of a checkpoint.
Okay.
So, they sell direct too, so.
That, the Community Preservation Committee does meet next
week
Thursday, the 21st.
A week from this Thursday. So, Mr. Perry, when would that application need to be in? Because I'm probably not gonna be able to discuss this again until next week with the board, and then as long as you okay the amount that I put in. I mean,
Right,
it's obviously gonna be well over 100,000 with the insulation.
I would think that we could get that, on the,
Yeah,
posted for
okay.
the open meeting law
Okay.
before that Thursday.
Thank you.
Okay.
What kind of material was that for?
Cedar.
Is that the final before, or they got another meeting after next week to finalize stuff, Joe?
My understanding is that we're gonna finalize next week, but I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Bill.
Well, we just opened the special town meeting warrant. I would, normally an article such as this would just be put on the special. And if they've got other things, other approvals and things, we just opened the special town meeting warrant now, so
All right.
still some time on that.
Thank you, Deb. Okay, old business, review FY14 budgets. We've been receiving preliminary budgets from the town departments for the board to review. We will be scheduling department heads starting at our next meeting to discuss the budgets. So really nothing else.
So the we've been getting some preliminary budgets in, everybody's gotten copies of them. We are working on a few things, obviously, we don't have a final budget number because we're waiting for the outcome of the school committee vote, which will happen Wednesday.
Right.
So once that happens,
We're still looking for level funded, Debbie?
well, pending the school information, and then the personnel board will make a presentation next Monday on a cost out for the non-union employees for the personnel study.
Well, the school budget won't be level funded, but
Yeah,
they should
but
be closer to our recommendation of
Recommendation, yeah.
218,
Yeah.
290,000. That's what we're hoping. We should find out Wednesday. That would also be the meeting they'll vote on the merger committee will make its recommendation to the school
Okay.
committee.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Announcements. Raleigh Food Pantry is in need of donations. The food pantry is open Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Thursdays from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Again, there's a basket at the library. You can do a drop-off of items there also. And they are, last I talked to the ladies at the pantry, they still are in dire needs of all kinds of items. The town has the following vacant seats again: Planning Board, full member; Planning Board Associate member; Zoning Board of Appeals, Associate, Associate, 3 open seats. Again, the battery recycling drop-off box is right here at the town hall, right across from the town clerk's office. And also, there's a box in the library, so if you have any old batteries, instead of casting them in the trash, just bring them to town hall, put them in a plastic bag, that's what I do, and then just drop them off, and they're picked up and they're disposed of properly. Okay, with that,
If I could just,
I'm sure, John. I don't wanna cut you off.
since our last announcement is no longer on the agenda, that we did have a fun time on Saturday with the chili cook-off, and it was well attended, and we had a lot of good chili and a lot of good music.
I am very disappointed I missed the
Very,
chili
very good.
cook-off, but unfortunately, I had other things that they.
It's a good time, very
Yes.
good time.
Okay. Did you eat a lot of chili?
No, I behaved myself.
Oh, okay, good. That's not good, because chili, that's good chili.
Yes.
Okay, motion to go to executive session, call for a motion to go to executive session for the purpose of discussing the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property, because an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the town, and not to return to open session. Need a board member to make a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second,
Second,
and with a roll call vote,
Jack Cook,
Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
I, Robert Mary.
I, Stu Delzell.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week. Thank you.